It's been a bad week for player numbers, with World of Warcraft, Star Wars, The Old Republic and Draw Something reporting somewhat disappointing figures. BioShock Infinite disappoints gamers in another way while the world goes crazy for the new batch of Portal 2 DLC. Epic Games and Wolfenstein 3D both celebrate their 20th anniversaries. Minecraft launches on Xbox 360 and we have a stunning new animated trailer from Diablo 3, all in this week's edition of Player Attack. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen. They say these things come in threes, and this week we have a trio of games who are reporting somewhat disappointing player numbers. We'll start off with the least bad one. World of Warcraft didn't report a drop in its player base, but it did remain steady at 10.2 million subscribers at the end of March. That's the same sort of number as we were given in February when the game had suffered the loss of 100,000 regular players. Blizzard is hoping that things will pick up before too long with the release of Mists of Pandaria, tipped to bring lapsed players back to the fold. But then there's the world's second biggest MMORPG, Star Wars: The Old Republic. This week's earnings call from Electronic Arts reveals that roughly a quarter of the game's subscribers have quit playing over the past 3 months. The drop is explained as the end of the honeymoon for the space-age MMO, BioWare explaining that a large number of casual and trial players signed up at the game's launch, and those have now cycled out again. The new figure, a none-too-shabby 1.3 million active gamers, should be, therefore, more representative of the longer-term player base, with EA and BioWare reportedly quite happy with the figures. But then there is the most surprising of the three. Uber-popular casual mobile game Draw Something has fallen from grace in a rapid and most undignified manner. More than 5 million gamers have stopped playing the game in just the past month. That's around a third of its active fans from the heady days of April. The thing is, nobody seems quite sure why everybody is quitting in droves. Some gamers explained that it was developer OMG POP's recent acquisition by casual giant Zynga, but to most casual gamers that doesn't really make a difference. Others observe that drawing endless pictures every day has become a chore, or that even though they enjoyed pouring heart, soul and muse into a touchscreen, their opponent was still turning in stick figures with words written above their heads. And while we're talking about player bases and earnings calls and numbers with a lot of zeros after them, here is a short message from Rovio. Obviously, it's not all that bad. Unless you were looking for BioShock Infinite anyway. Irrational Games has confirmed that the third game in the franchise will not be arriving this October. Instead, it's been pushed all the way back to February next year. And why has it been delayed? Well, nobody really knows. A statement from Ken Levine at the studio claims that the developers need more time so that the great can be made greater. He compares it to the original BioShock requiring just one more coat of grimy Art Deco. Of course, rumours have now started flying that BioShock Infinite's departure from the October launch calendar does leave an awfully big gap for another game from the 2K Rockstar stables. But no, it's not Max Payne 3. That one is still on track to arrive on shelves next week, and Rockstar has sent over this shiny new launch trailer for your perusal.
The way I see it, there's two types of people. Those who spend their lives trying to build a future. And those who spend their lives trying to rebuild the past. For too long, I've been stuck in between. Hidden in the dark. Locked on a course of destruction. Time moves forward, and nothing changes.
After years of waiting, Max Payne 3 is headed to consoles in North America on May 15th, arriving in Europe and other territories a few days later. PC version, on the other hand, is lagging a little way behind, arriving at the end of the month. In other news, the Portal 2 Perpetual Testing Initiative Level Editor has launched and within 24 hours had shattered any expectations anyone may have had. More than 35,000 user-created maps were published within the first 2 days of the editor's availability, and these were downloaded more than 1.3 million times. The Perpetual Testing Initiative gives gamers the ability to create, share, and play their own levels for the award-winning Portal 2, which has sold more than 4 million copies worldwide since its launch a year ago. And while we're celebrating birthdays, there were two very special ones this week. Firstly, Epic Games blew out the candles on its cake and decided to share an appropriately epic compilation album to thank the fans. The Epic Games 20th Anniversary Original Soundtrack consists of, you guessed it, 20 songs gathered from 2 decades of the studio's existence. There are tunes from just about everything here, from Jazz Jackrabbit and Jill of the Jungle all the way up to all 3 Gears of War releases, Unreal Tournament 2004, and even the Infinity Blade mobile games. There's even a little ditty from the 1993 release of Epic Pinball for the true fans. The soundtrack album is available right now, absolutely free, and trust me, it makes a pretty epic soundtrack for just about anything you're doing. 1992 was a big year in video games. It also marked the first release of the game considered the godfather of the modern FPS, Wolfenstein 3D. As id Software's shooter turns 20 years old, the developers are throwing even more presents at you, the fans, for supporting them for all of this time. You'll get a copy of Wolfenstein 3D Classic Platinum for iOS absolutely free, a handful of Xbox 360 avatar costumes, and a director's commentary from John Carmack focusing on celebrating 20 years of Wolfenstein 3D. Perhaps the most exciting bit, however, it has also published a full version of Wolfenstein 3D online, and it's completely playable directly in your browser. After nearly a year of anticipation, Minecraft has finally launched on Xbox 360, shattering records with its trusty pickaxe as it goes. The numbers are still being kept under wraps, but creator Notch reports the port of the game was profitable within just 1 hour of going live on Xbox Live Arcade. It seems that not everybody was happy with the blocky world builder transitioning to consoles, however. Fortress Craft has been a part of the Xbox Live indie games lineup for 2 years, and has battled accusations of being merely a Minecraft clone for most of that. Now it seems the negative attention has come to a head, with Fortress Craft creator Adam Sorkins claiming that the Minecraft community took out a cyber attack on his website at the same time as the new game launched on Xbox 360. Police are investigating. And finally this week, one of the most impressive collaborations we've seen in gaming in a long time. Titmouse Inc. is the animation studio behind Metalocalypse. Peter Chung is the creator of Aeon Flux and a number of other modern classic animations. Blizzard Entertainment is the development studio putting the finishing touches on Diablo 3, which is launching this week. Now, if you combine all of those three, you will end up with an animated short film, a little something like this, called Wrath.
Since the first spark of creation, angels have waged the eternal conflict to defeat the forces of darkness and corruption. Led by the Angira's council, their unity made them an indomitable force for light and righteousness. Stand fast! Oriel, Archangel of Hope. Malthael, Archangel of Wisdom. Ethereal, Archangel of Fate. Tyrael, Archangel of Justice. Sirius, the Archangel of Valor.
Diablo 3 launches on May 15th for PC and Mac, with servers opening at various times around the world. Now, it doesn't really matter where you live, Blizzard has announced global play from day one, so you'll be able to log into any server across the globe and play to your heart's content. For the full version of those trailers, or for more information on any of these stories, head to playerattack.com. I'm Jessica Citizen, we'll see you next week.